Hey, Tony from BikeBerry. It's so good to see you all on here. Spring is in the air, and the common question that I see in the Facebook group is, my engine is seized. What do I do about it? Let's roll. So I would say at a core, your most common problem is going to be your cylinder body and your piston. So what happens is junk gets in your gas tank and goes through the system, the filter doesn't filter it, or something like that happened, and particles got stuck in here, which caused it to grind into the wall and stop the piston from moving, which seizes your engine. So there could be a few other factors that, can happen before that. So let's check that out in order of how I would go about checking it. Before we get into tearing an engine apart or even assuming that the problem is in here, let's look for an external problem, like your drivetrain. A lot of times I've seen on my own builds that just your basic bike pedal cranks can be hitting something and you not realize it, which stops performance everywhere else and momentum. I like to put the bike up on a stand and just pedal the pedals backwards, right? Feel how they're working. Make sure that there's nothing intruding in the way, in the pathway, because I've had troubles with this rear sprocket not complying and being stuck somehow to where I've had to, break it free and loose just to make sure everything's working right and not intruding. So just do that, kind of make sure that it's functioning properly and smoothly. Once you've done that, you can move on to the next area of inspection. Next up is our clutch assembly. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that everything is working smoothly with the disengaged. Because right now the cylinder isn't moving up and down. We're just checking to make sure that the chain is moving freely with no interruptions. You can see that it's spinning very smoothly. I like to look at the whole rear sprocket assembly, to make sure. I like to look at any tensioners that you have. Is there any binding or anything running in there? Is there anything hitting the chain at all? Because you want to make double, triple sure. So far, man, everything looks really good on here. I don't see any issue, and I don't feel it as I'm holding the pedal. I don't feel anything, any spots, I guess is the best way to say it. So as I got the pedal, I don't feel any spots in the movement of the whole mechanism. I think we're good. So one thing that I'll do while I'm pedaling is engage the clutch and see if it stops. Let's do that. Something to note, when the seize happened to your engine, what was the fuel to oil mix ratio? Was it old gas, new gas? How was your filter and your fuel lines? Are they old and broken or anything like that that is fuel related? Check that out and make note of that, because those are things that you may need to change so that you don't have problems in the future. Once you've determined that everything is moving freely and now you're questioning whether it's the cylinder or the piston or somewhere in the engine itself, what you want to do is you want to remove the cylinder body, get the piston out, and really inspect what's going on with the piston itself and the cylinder body. Okay, so you want to make sure that there's no gouges or anything like that. Sometimes you'll see big scrapes in the side of this. And then inspect the wall inside of here and make sure that there are no, gouges, scrapes, anything wrong or abnormal that shouldn't be there, right? Yeah, let's just check it out. So you want to get as close as possible, and you want to look at every single aspect of the wall. There's dust in this one because this one's sitting on my workbench, but yeah, but you get the idea, right? These should be smooth, right? They'll have wear patterns for a running engine, but it won't be anything that's deep gouges. Okay, yeah. So check that out. That's a very important thing, is to make sure. And then the next thing is to make sure that this was oriented in the right way, because, this has these have these little pins on here, right? That way everything lines up really well when your rings are in place properly. Okay, sometimes gouges and scrapes can happen because those things are more in line like this and get smashed in there, right? Or they break, you know, something like that can happen. And one thing that we do sell, if yours, you know, the whole upper assembly gets trashed, then you can order a whole new upper assembly. So that way you're not replacing, you know, the entire engine. Once you've determined the condition of the cylinder, piston, and all that, then you can put it aside. And the next thing to do is to clean out the crankcase. Okay, so you can, you know, totally take it out, dump all the gas out of it. And a way you could do that is to use like a carbon choke and parts cleaner. And you know, obviously this is a shot. Oh, you can see it. And you know, hold it upside down. Everything that when you spray it in here and everything starts to come out, then it'll evaporate. You let it dry really well, and then you start reassembling your engine. You know, put a little bit of oil in there, reassemble your engine, and then you should be pretty good to go. But you're just checking to see if you know, any junk comes out that could have been the problem. I would use a white plastic container to do this in, like a tub or something like that. That way you can see anything that's coming out, because it's all going to be black and, you know, be metal filings, shavings, junk, or anything like that. And then you can really totally clean out your crankcase properly, and then make sure nothing is intruding in the momentum of, you know, the parts inside. For me, I use this galvanized container, and let's see. The straw you can get down in there pretty well. See how it comes out? Be really liberal with it. Right? See how you're dumping it out? You can see anything that could possibly be in there. Move it around. Oops. Moving around a lot. Yeah, just like that. Repeatedly do that until you feel like it's good and clean, and then move on to the next step. Yeah, so here's my open case. You could see how there's junk in there, and that's just from being open in the room, not when I was running it. But you could see how stuff could sit in all these little cracks and crevices and potentially cause a problem. So that's what this does. It'll help really clean it out and make sure that you're good to go. Now, if you are, you know, once you've done that, and let's say you did find a problem on here and you're like, oh yeah, my cylinder's gouged and it got some junk in there and it totally wrecked the wall. Well, what do you do about that? And what parts do you get to make sure that you have everything you need to assemble the engine successfully? So when you're ordering parts, you want to make sure that the piston is the same size. So you want to match it up with whatever's on the website, okay? You can use a caliper to find the right measurements. And then also ask yourself, what other hardware do I need for the piston? Do I need piston rings, clips, wrist pin, gaskets, etc.? Because you want to replace all these components that show any sign of damage or wear. You might as well just put everything new in there, okay? When you're talking cylinder body, you want to make sure that you get the exact same one. Now, ours are, you know, the same, so we sell exactly the same thing, but you know, when you ask yourself what is the correct cylinder body to replace mine, then you want to make sure and measure that the 40 millimeter, because ours are all 40 millimeter. So you measure stud to stud should be 40 millimeters. What I like to do is order an all-in-one upper assembly. So that way you get piston, you get everything that you need to reassemble. So we'll put links below, and that way you can make sure that you get the right one. But this is a, just so you know, this is a stage 4 engine. So the stage 1 through 4 is the same core engine. We just added upgrades to each one to make them better, more economical for you. So what I like to do is get the all-in-one top-end replacement kit. This gives you everything that you need to get the right kit for you. So if your kit is a stage 1 through 4, then that means that all this will say, be exactly the same. So you should be good there. So just to please note that if you're, getting a replacement for like this one, most of them are 40 millimeters from stud to stud. So measure that. That way you get the right, the right size for your engine. All right, once you've determined all that and you know that this is clean and that this is good to go, reassemble your engine, get it mounted on the bike, make sure that everything has a clear path to function, because that is the most important thing, mostly for your safety and then also for the life of the engine and the functioning of the engine. So there you have it. If your engine is seized, make sure you check everything in your cylinder, make sure you check everything in your drivetrain, and then clean this guy out and make sure that it's good to go. But if you have any questions and something I didn't cover, then please put in the comments below. Then more importantly, if you have problems, shoot a video and go into our Facebook group so that the community can come in and help you determine any issues that you're having, and we can ask all the right questions. It's very hard, in just the YouTube videos to give you the right help, because it's not consistent interaction that our Facebook group is. So go join our BikeBerry Facebook group. It's a highly valuable community of people that are building awesome bikes and want to do the same, get the same results as you do. So please like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're excited. We've had a lot of growth over the last year, and we want to continue that, because my goal is to really help you build the best bike of your dreams and possibilities with our awesome communities. Till next time, let's roll.